Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for a new episode of the Sharpshoot with AuSSy. I am, as always, your host, AuSSy. For some odd reason, I haven't changed my name. The show's still Sharpshoot with AuSSy. I guess you would expect me to be AuSSy, right? There's really nobody, at least I hope not, around here that could be me. We got shitty lighting going on today for the show. That's all right, because you probably don't want to see my face anyways. Good show, as always, lined up for you guys. We're going to talk Sting's debut, the Ascension, and a couple other topics in addition to whatever you guys want to talk about as usual. We're going to cover A New Day and their WWE debut on SmackDown. Spoiler alert. And we're going to talk about the anonymous Raw general manager. You guys can comment in the chat section here on YouTube, and we'll get going here as usual. If you have any topic suggestions, anything you want to cover today, let me know immediately, and we will do so on the show. We've got people weighing in on YouTube already. Sir Tommy T, aka Yogi. Hey, AuSSy. Hey, Yogi. How the hell you doing, brother? And of course, M Sato. I know that you have watched the show before. I can't remember who you are as far as Facebook follower. Let me know your real name. That way we can kind of converse back and forth here, same way I do with Yogi. And, you know, anybody that's new to the show, if you haven't watched the show before, we basically do the same stuff every single week. We shoot on the biggest topics in WWE. We don't really talk about other promotions, not that we don't like other promotions or don't watch them. We just don't claim to be experts in the other promotions. We just don't cover them. We want to devote our attention to one thing and cover it to the best of our ability, and that is WWE. And speaking of WWE, we've got a WCW invasion. A lot of good memes coming this past week after Sting finally made his long-awaited WWE debut. A lot of people are saying it's a return, technically, because he worked for WCW, and WCW was owned by Vince. No, that doesn't really count. Let's be honest here. Sting making his WWE debut, and I don't know about you guys, a lot of people seem to act like this isn't really that big of a deal. If you're a 90s wrestling fan like myself and you saw Sting in his prime during WCW, you know that this is a monumental event. That was a monumental debut. Quite honestly, arguably, I should say, the biggest WWE debut of all time, just because it's been anticipated for so many years. For so many years, we have, is Sting going to join the WWE? Is he going to sign? We've heard rumors that he has signed, that he hasn't signed, that he's never going to sign. And then finally he shows up, and I have to tell you, I marked the hell out. If you're a Sting fan and you didn't mark out, I feel bad for you. I feel disappointed. One thing I want to cover, though, a lot of people on Facebook, on Twitter, on wherever, trying to dilute his debut in WWE. You see the memes of people saying, about how Sting was old and washed up in TNA, but then he debuts on WWE, and suddenly people are marking out. You just don't get it. You cannot compare the two. When we're talking about WCW guys or former WWE guys that went to TNA, we're talking Hogan, Flair, Mick Foley, Sting, all these guys that went over to TNA and nobody was interested. There's a gigantic reason for that. And it's not because people just don't like TNA. It's because TNA was basing their show largely around those talents. As to where the WWE right now, you've got guys like Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, still John Cena, Randy Orton. That's what the show is based around. TNA was based around Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, those older talents that just honestly can't cut it anymore. So yes, we do mark out when we see the Hulk Hogans and Ric Flairs and Stings in WWE, because they're only there for a brief moment. They're not going to be there every single week in the main event needing to carry the company. That is the difference there. And that's my argument there. So Sting, his debut in the WWE, was absolutely epic. It looks like we've got a potential feud between him and Triple H. I shouldn't say potential. I should say it's definitely going to be a feud between those two. And I'm pretty excited for that. I know a lot of people really want to see Sting versus Taker. That's not necessarily off the table here. I think because Sting and Triple H debuted this feud so quickly, or so long before WrestleMania, I think there is a chance we see Sting go against Triple H, whether it be at TLC. I probably don't think that's going to happen. Maybe it's at Royal Rumble. We see Sting versus Triple H. And then that's kind of his warm-up match to get ready for The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Maybe Taker returns at the Royal Rumble and does something to Sting, something like that. So don't give up hope that we're not going to see Sting versus Taker. I know there's some people out there that don't even want to see it anymore just because they think the guys are too old. They can't cut it anymore. I guarantee you just those two in the ring together, face-to-face, instant mark-out moment, one of the biggest potentially one of the biggest moments in pro wrestling. I don't care if you're talking about sports entertainment, pro wrestling, whatever. It is what it is. It's going to be a big deal if it happens. So if it happens, you've got one person here that's going to be marking out, probably shit in his drawers. And we got Yogi weighing on Twitter saying, I was watching at 4 a.m. when I had college at 7. Sting's music came on. I leapt out of my chair, felt a buzz I haven't felt in a good while. It was the same reaction here, man. I had Matt Donato here from RopeBreakWrestling.com. He's the host of the Before the Bell show that airs every Friday. Got a great episode coming up this week. Really excited for that. Both of us leaped off the couch. And my girlfriend was watching it with us. She just didn't know what to do. We both leapt off the couch. High fives galore. We were jacked up. The neighbors were pissed. And it is what it is. We were pretty pumped up about it. And I have to say, I do really like the idea of Sting versus Triple H. I think those two, I love the way that Triple H sold Sting there on Monday Night Raw, saying, maybe he just felt the need to get in a ring with me to legitimize his career or whatever it was that he said. That was the shit. We also have Jordan Lincourt, who's watching the show live, saying that Spurs hoop in the background, though, throwback. It's worth noting to all of you that don't know, I am not a Spurs fan. I am a diehard Chicago Bulls fan, and most of you that have watched the show in the past would know that just because you see me rocking Bulls paraphernalia during random shows. It is what it is. That's going to be the phrase for today. It is what it is. Usually I've got something that I just abuse on the show. But right now I want to let you guys know, I see a lot of you guys watching right now, a lot of people weighing in on YouTube. If you're down with the show, do me a huge favor and hit the like button on YouTube. We have some kind of hater, and I'm not going to name names, but I'm pretty sure I can put my finger on the hater. Let's just say the Sharpshoot may or may not have used to been on a different network. Ever since it's fallen off that network, we have 2 people, 2, that continue to hit the dislike button almost every single week on the Sharpshoot. We'll get 7, 8, 10 likes, and then we'll get 2 dislikes. It's always 2. So it's going to be the 2 same haters coming on every single week. If you know who it is, lay the smackdown on them. And the way you can help me combat that is by hitting the like button yourself. That is a huge favor that you can do to me. And of course, follow us on Twitter at Rope Break Wrestling, at I Am AuSSy. Go like the Facebook page if you don't already. If you don't already, I'm not sure why you don't, because you're probably a jabroni. And of course, subscribe to Rope Break Wrestling on YouTube. What you guys may or may not know is that based on certain benchmarks, we do giveaways. So if you're a rope breaker and you've been here before, you're not new, you know that after hitting 3,000 likes on Facebook, we gave away a copy of WWE 2K15 that went to Jeremiah Golder, who is actually watching the show right now. Jeremiah, thanks for watching. And remember, when you get that copy of your game, send us a picture of yourself, because there's a lot of people that just don't believe that we're giving out free shit, because we do it all the time. If you guys have been around since WrestleMania, epic giveaway around WrestleMania. We did a pretty good giveaway for SummerSlam, and then Survivor Series. maybe, just maybe, there's something in the cards for Royal Rumble. You never know. But the best way to ensure that you're in there for every single giveaway is by going and subscribing, liking, and following. And of course, sharing with your friends. If I see you out here grinding, doing the dirty, making sure that all your friends know about Rope Break Wrestling, you're probably going to have a little bit better of a shot to win a prize. I'm not going to say that the drawings are completely random, but let's just say I keep my eye out, and Matt and Alec do the same. So if you already like, share, or if you already like, subscribe, and follow, you can share and you can come onto these shows and be a part of these shows and interact with us here. That's the best way to ensure that you will be a good giveaway candidate. Now, on to the next topic of our show. We're going to talk about the Ascension. And anybody that knows me or Matt, we've been really pushing the Ascension. Excuse me. Ryan Berea jumping on the show. Ryan Berea, what's up, man? I do have a little bit of a cold, so expect some coughing here. Expect some turbulence in the show. Either way, the Ascension, Matt and myself, I know Alec likes them as well, but Matt and myself have really been pushing the Ascension in our shows and really, really, really want to see them. The reason being is because the tag team division right now in its current form absolutely sucks. There's really no way of getting around that. We actually just saw on Survivor Series a fatal four-way tag match that basically included the entire tag team division. That is extremely sad, and for myself, quite frustrating, I might add. The reason why I'm so angry about this is because you have not just the Ascension, but a few legitimate tag teams down in NXT that could really be on the main roster already, could really be helping out the main roster. I'm interested to know what you guys think, as always, so please continue to submit your comments in the chat board here, and I'll make sure that your voice is heard on the show. I think the Ascension is probably the best tag team that WWE has right now, maybe with the exception of the Usos. I don't really look at Goldust and Cody Rhodes as a legitimate tag team, to be honest with you. I look at them as two singles competitors that are thrown together. I don't like Golden Stardust. I don't like the Stardust gimmick. I like Goldust. I love him as a singles competitor. I just don't think the tag team really works that well. I know a lot of people think differently, and that's cool. I'm not going to hate on you. But right now, I think that a tag team division could really benefit from getting guys like the Ascension, the Vaudevillians, and Enzo and Big Cass. Those are three tag teams I think could be up there right now. And a tag team like Los Matadores does not belong on a pay-per-view or a free per-view. Doesn't matter if it's free or it's a pay-per-view. They should not be on a main show like that, especially when they're not even on Raw or SmackDown that often leading up to the show. It just kind of felt like a thrown together match, and that had me disappointed. I was hoping that the Ascension would come out during this match and just decimate the entire tag team division. But I was talking to a buddy on Facebook earlier, and I mentioned that I really would like to see at WrestleMania a triple threat tag team TLC match between the Ascension, the Usos, and one other tag team. I'm not necessarily sure who I want to be that one other tag team. We've got Max SCD on aka M Sato on YouTube saying, will we see the Dudleys return for TLC and challenge for the titles? That would be sick. I don't necessarily think we're going to get that. I would love to see the Dudleys in there for WrestleMania to help put some of these other tag teams over, the Ascension and the Usos. Get them to be that third team in the TLC triple threat tag team title match at WrestleMania. Maybe the Hardys. I know they're out there. They can be had. Let's be honest. I know Jeff is still working with TNA, and we know Matt has had a working relationship with Ring of Honor and TNA. But we've got to go out and get somebody to help legitimize this tag team division. If not, just please bring the Ascension up immediately. They've been ready for probably almost a year now. And I'm really not exaggerating there. I have no idea why this tag team has not made it to the main roster yet. I'm really puzzled. The only reason I can think of is they're really got something big planned for them, and they don't want to bring them up until they can bring them up and push them hard. This seems to be the case with a lot of NXT talent. They're not bringing these guys up and giving them a slow build. They're bringing these guys up and pushing them right down your throat. You think of Paige, first day on the main roster, wins the Divas title. You think of guys like Rusev, um, a lot of different NXT talent out there that has come up that just immediately ascends to the top. No pun intended. I hope the Ascension ascends to the top pretty quickly. And like I said, I'm dying to see that tag team triple threat match, TLC match at WrestleMania for the tag team straps. The Ascension, the Usos, the Dudleys, that would be sweet. I wouldn't even mind having Enzo and Big Cass up there. That's not going to happen, but I wish it would. I look at Enzo and Big Cass as a Road Dogg Billy Gunn style tag team. They're not going to be the best technical wrestlers, but they're going to entertain the shit out of the crowd. And there's really no debating that. They could be up on the main roster right now. They don't need to have Enzo Amore being a luchador style or a Sami Zayn or any type of extreme cruiserweight just because he's small. Just let him go out there and entertain the crowd. Be a basic wrestler. If you can really entertain the crowd on the mic, they're going to like what you do in the ring regardless, unless you're, Eva Marie style shit. So, and Max is saying Paige flopped. That's not her fault, to be honest with you. It's the way she was booked extremely hard in the beginning with no character development. And then suddenly she disappears just because they just didn't give her enough character development. They were starting there for a little while with AJ, but they dropped that feud. So it is what it is. Like I told you, that was going to be the phrase for the show. Now we'll move on to another potential team that could tag team, I should say, that can make waves in the WWE. We spoiler alert, we know that A New Day is set to make their debut on SmackDown this week. It was said that it was going to be Raw next week on Raw, but apparently they switched that up. We have pictures of A New Day up on ropebreakwrestling.com right now. If you haven't seen them, you can go to the website right now and check out those pictures of A New Day taken by fans that were at SmackDown. They're going to be at SmackDown, or on SmackDown, I should say. And I'm really intrigued here with these guys. Now, they're getting a lot of slack for their blue colors. People are saying blue tees. I'm not necessarily sure what the big deal is with blue. If you wear blue outfits, apparently you get shit on for it. I don't know. But I really wanted to talk about A New Day for a couple reasons here. I think that this faction can be a really good piece of WWE's main roster. And a lot of people are disappointed that it's not the new Nation of Domination. And I have to disagree with that, to be honest with you. A lot of people, like I said, just flat out disappointed. They wanted to see the new nation, and I just don't think that works. Because what happens is if you do a new nation, people are just going to be constantly comparing them to the old nation, and well, they're not as good as the old nation. Big E's not quite what Mark Henry was, and Xavier Woods is no Rock, and Kofi Kingston's no D'Lo Brown. It's just they need to do something for their own. They don't need to be constantly compared to the new Nation of Domination. And a lot of people are going out there saying that this church choir style vignettes were just playing to black stereotypes. Yet the Nation of Domination was playing to black stereotypes at the time, and you just want to mix. Just because it's three black guys, you just want to throw them in a faction and name it the same thing that the last all black faction was. You guys are the ones that are stereotyping, if you ask me. Just because it's three black dudes does not mean it needs to be the Nation of Domination. There's plenty of other great gimmicks out there for them. I'm interested to see where this goes. I don't think it's going to just be, it's not going to be Xavier Woods coming out and singing, I don't think. I think it's going to be toned down a little bit from what we saw in the vignettes, but I expect them to be interesting, and it'll be good to see those three guys back on WWE TV. I think they all have enough talent to stay on the main roster and make an impact together. My question is, how do they wrestle? Is it is it a tag team and a singles wrestler? Is it two tag teams, they switch back and forth? Is it a tag team and a manager? I don't know. It remains to be seen. From what I originally heard, it was going to be Xavier Woods kind of managing Kofi and Big E. but we'll see. And Max is asking, who do I predict will become the breakout star of a New Day? I think they want it to be Big E Langston. I think it could end up being Xavier Woods. If he gets all he really need to do is get rid of that cheesy ass afro. It looks like he's pulled it back now. So I'll start to take him seriously. He's very good on the mic. Big E could be a potential star. I think Kofi Kingston's kind of hit his peak in the WWE. He's gonna kind of be the same thing he's been. I think he does have potential to be a little bit better. I just think that we're going to see him kind of plateau here, and he'll kind of be that background member of a New Day. I expect it to be Xavier and Big E playing for that big role. They're the two up-and-coming young guys we don't know too much about. Obviously, Big E's been around for a couple years. Xavier came in with that extremely shitty gimmick with R-Truth. I hope this is a fresh start for all three of them. I hope Kofi Kingston has another layer besides just being a great battle royal competitor, making freaky saves before he falls out of the ring. That's kind of what's defined him. I hope that he gets another layer. I hope Big E Langston gets another layer as an on-mic guy. But like I said, I'm interested to know how these guys are going to wrestle. Because if they're a tag team, if there's a tag team within them, they can be a great addition to the tag team division that's extremely depleted right now. Because honestly, I don't know who goes up against Mizdow for a chance to get the titles right now. I say Mizdow as in Miz and Damian Sandow. But I think anybody that goes up against them right now is going to have to be a heel. So going back to the Ascension, I think it'd be best if the Ascension attacked Miz and Mizdow. Here's my fantasy booking of how Miz and Mizdow lose the tag titles. I think the best way to do it is to introduce the Ascension, have them just whip the shit out of Miz and Mizdow, and have Miz flee the scene, kind of leaving Mizdow in the ring just to get the shit beat out of him by the Ascension. That gives the Ascension a lot of heat, and that also gives Miz a lot of heat, and it continues to make you feel sympathetic for Sandow as they lose the titles, and then we can have a Sandow versus Miz feud brew, which is ultimately what's going to happen here. So that remains to be seen. I'm interested to know when that's going to happen, because I think this WrestleMania card is filling up extremely fast. I'm not necessarily sure where they are going to go with that feud. Is that going to be a potential WrestleMania feud? Do we have a potential Dust Brothers breaking up for WrestleMania feud? That remains to be seen. There's a lot of stuff going on here as we approach WrestleMania season, and it's pretty exciting. So, again, if you guys have any more topics that you want me to cover, let me know as we go here, because after the Raw General Manager segment, I will start talking about any other topics that you guys want to cover. If not, we'll probably promptly end the show, and I'll go back to Swig and Steve Weisers. But rolling right on, we want to talk about the general manager of Raw, the anonymous Raw general manager. The end of the show, end of this past week's Raw, closed out with the anonymous Raw general manager. A lot of people were like, yo, didn't they learn last time this shit didn't really work? If it's Hornswoggle again, I'm going to be pissed. Yeah, me too. That's the short answer. If it's Hornswoggle, what a waste. I don't think it is. My question is, why can't they continue to have Daniel Bryan on as the GM? Obviously, he's not ready to compete yet. There's no reason why you can't get something out of him as a general manager, as a character on the show. When Mick Foley was done with his career, when Steve Austin was done with his career, so to speak, they slid into that general manager role, and they were a big part of the show. There's no reason why you can't have Daniel Bryan on there with his face fresh to always be, on the show. And that just really reminds people that he's still there and that he has an impact on the show. I don't understand why they're not going to stick with him. It remains to be seen. Maybe he is about to undergo another surgery, or, he's going to be training to get back in the ring. Who knows? I think they could capitalize by using Daniel Bryan as the general manager. But if not Daniel Bryan, the question becomes who? Because it can't be Hornswoggle. What I've really wanted to see for the longest time and Matt and I discuss this all the time. Is Shane McMahon returning? We really wanted to hear this past Monday night on Raw. Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talks. We really wanted to see Shane McMahon return. I'm still holding out hope that Shane McMahon returns. That would be pretty dope. But if not Shane or Daniel Bryan, I'm really puzzled as to who it could be. A lot of people are throwing CM Punk out there. I just don't think that that's going to happen. If it did, it'd be sweet. I just don't see it happening. But who else is out there that could become the general manager that would actually compel the audience? Names that come to mind are Bad News Barrett. I don't think they're going to have him do it. I hope it's not a guy like John Laurinaitis. That would be terrible. I don't think it's going to be Sting. I think they would have just had him out again. I don't know. It could be Sting. It's just confusing to me. I don't know how long this anonymous general manager thing is going to go on for. Hopefully next week on Raw we find out who the GM is. I just have no clue who it could be. No idea. It shouldn't be a heel because the heel team just lost. Team Authority just lost. It looks like we're going to be getting a face power. Yogi is saying Austin. That would be amazing if it was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know that I see that happening either, just because Austin has a very busy schedule. We're seeing a couple of his podcasts coming up on the network. That's going to be sweet. But and of course, Max is saying CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. I just don't see it happening. So we're really limiting our list here. Maybe Jericho, if he returns for the WrestleMania push. Maybe it could be a guy like Chris Jericho. Otherwise, I've honestly got no clue, and that's a good thing because in a world nowadays where wrestling is so predictable, WWE is so predictable. We get on these shows, we discuss it, we can pretty much figure out everything that's going to happen before it happens. And Hogan, that's what Yogi's proposing. Maybe Hulk Hogan. That I wouldn't be opposed to. I wouldn't mind seeing Hulk Hogan return. And become the general manager. The question is, is there anybody else like on the current roster that could slide in there? And why is it being hidden if it is? Vince McMahon is obviously not going to be the guy. They wouldn't have done it like that. Whoever it is, I feel like wasn't available Monday, and that's why they had to do that. So it's going to be somebody that's coming back or coming for the first time. You know what I mean? Kurt Angle, not going to happen just because, he's basically signed with TNA still. And, see, Max is alluding to that. He's saying a true American hero, a real patriot, an Olympic gold medalist. Obviously, he's going to bring up Kurt Angle. It's not going to happen. We already saw the poster for January, the early January tapings for Destination America with TNA. Kurt Angle's on those posters. So we're likely not seeing a Kurt Angle return in WWE at all. Jericho did say he's coming back sooner than you think and in a different way than before. That's what Jeremiah Golder said. So it's possible that Chris Jericho returns as general manager. That'd be pretty sweet. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But, so far we've got these guys as potential options. Shane McMahon, Chris Jericho, Hulk Hogan, and really not that many others. I mean, Stone Cold's a long shot. CM Punk's an extremely long shot. I have no idea. And Max says he's fantasy booking. Yeah, believe me, man, I do that on the regular. I do that daily. I actually am going to be coming out with something on ropebreakwrestling.com soon. We started the Fantasy Booking Friday thing. We did one thing on there. I did something with the Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose feud. If you go back on the website and check that out. But more fantasy booking coming to the site soon. Let's just say that. And I also almost forgot to let you guys know that we've got a big event coming up. Now that we're rounding out the end of the year, you're going to have the Slammies coming up. We're going to have a bunch of other wrestling awards out there. Well, last year, right when we first started the site, we started something called the Golden Ropes. And I'm proud to announce that this year, the Golden Rope Awards show will return, and it will be voted on. All awards will be voted on by you guys, the fans. on ropebreakwrestling.com. The actual date of the show remains to be announced in the coming weeks on Sharpshoot. I will give you guys that information. But right now we're taking suggestions for awards. So if you have any suggestions for awards, tweet us them. That's the only way that we're going to be accepting them. So tweet at Rope Break Wrestling using the hashtag Golden Ropes, and we will consider all awards that are announced to us. But we're going to have awards, best match, obviously, superstar of the year, obviously, pipe bomb of the year we had last year, video package of the year. We're going to give away the award for the Rope Breaker of the year, which goes to a fan that showed Rope Break the most support over the year. So if you're interested in getting yourself that award, there's no reason why you shouldn't be watching every single show, commenting, tweeting, liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all that shit. If you want to win that award, that is. And of course, I'm going to propose to the other two jabronis out there. We're always hearing Matt Donato say that his show is the best show on YouTube and that my show is the second best show on YouTube. Well, jabroni, I got a little bit of a proposal for you, and this goes for Alec too. We've been seeing React getting huge ratings. I dare you two to go one-on-one with the great one for the podcast show of the year. That's right, a golden rope for either the Sharpshoot, React After Raw, or Before the Bell with Matt Donato. Those three shows are going to go head-to-head for a Golden Rope Award for Best Podcast of the Year, Best Return, all sorts of different shit going on here. So if you guys are interested in that, keep an eye out. I'll let you guys know when the voting is going to open. That'll all take place on ropebreakwrestling.com. Every single award is going to be based off of your vote, unlike the Slammies. They claim that the Slammies are based off of your vote only. That's a hunk of shit. We all know that awards are manipulated, same way that the WWE app votes are manipulated. They're going to, give the award to who they feel they want to give the award to regardless. It's still a scripted show. On our show, you will vote to decide who wins the Golden Ropes, and then we will have a large Golden Ropes award show where we have many guests on the show presenting awards. And like I said, you can win Rope Breaker of the Year. You can win your own Golden Rope Award. So get hype. That's pretty sweet there. But to be honest with you, that's about going to end our show here. If you guys have nothing else that you're interested in talking about, every single week, we can talk about any topic you want. It does not have to be something related to the current product. We can talk past product. We can talk past product. We can talk anything. Anything you want, jabronis. Let me know. And Alec Kozubsky jumping on saying, your arms are just too short to box with God. Insert Ted DiBiase laugh. So it's clear that Alec thinks that React is going to take the podcast show of the year. I don't know, man. It could. React's a damn good show. Before the Bell is a damn good show. I just don't think they cut it when it comes to the Sharpshoot with AuSSy. You're gonna let the world know, guys. Until then, this has been the Sharpshoot, another excellent episode. I thank you all for tuning in. All of you that tuned in, congratulations to Jeremiah Golder, our winner of the WWE 2K15 giveaway. Make sure you guys have an excellent Thanksgiving, and right after you eat all that turkey, take a nap so you can wake up Friday and catch Before the Bell with Matt Donato. And really, that's all I got to say about that. We're always accepting topic suggestions for next week's episode of the Sharpshoot. So at any point of the week you come up with a suggestion, let me know why you want to talk about it, and tweet it to @IamAuSSy or @RopeBreakWrestling with the hashtag Sharpshoot. Before we go, Yogi wants to talk about Adam Rose and the bunny. He wants to know if the bunny is anybody significant. I think that the bunny is definitely going to end up being somebody significant. We've heard many, many times that it's going to be Darren Young. I just don't see why Darren Young would be in there, battling with Adam Rose. So for now, I think they're probably going to switch it, in my opinion. I think maybe you get a guy like Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has been the one that's under the costume, working the character. We've gotten that. We've been told that many, many times, different sources claiming that. So, I expect Adam Rose, whoever's under that bunny costume, is going to feud with Adam Rose after the bunny. And I don't see any reason for Darren Young to be that guy. So that remains to be seen. Adam Rose, pretty chill dude. Got to meet him after SmackDown a couple weeks ago. Not a bad guy at all. Ryan Bria wants to know what titles you would like to be brought back. I would like to see the titles split back up. I'd like to see a heavyweight championship and a WWE championship. And I would also like to see I'd like to see as many titles as possible be brought back, just because a title getting into a match almost makes the match, that much better if it's over something important, like a title. If they're not going to give us character development and storylines and a reason to get invested into a match, a belt is a reason to get invested into a match. I'd like to see a cruiserweight title return with all these NXT guys that we've got coming up: Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, Tyson Kidd. There's a cruiserweight division in there in itself. I'd like to see the European title be brought back. We've said whether or not Rusev could bring a title like that back. It's not going to be the European, because obviously Russia's not a part of Europe. But a European title would be pretty sweet. I'd like to see just about anything. I'd like to see a Tag Team Divas title. I'd like to see, like I said, as many titles as possible. We've got the IC, we've got the US. I don't want them to split up. Maybe a hardcore championship. I don't know. Bring back every single effing belt possible, just to get people over. That's really all I got to say about that. So thank you to Berea and Yogi for submitting those last topics in. You all in, and we'll see you next week. We'll be back on Thursday next week. We were only on Wednesday this week, so everybody can enjoy their Thanksgiving and not have to worry about dealing with me. And Yogi saying Russia is a part of Europe. I'm pretty sure Russia is a part of Asia, Yogi. The entire country as a whole is considered a part of the continent of Asia. Part of Russia does span across Europe. However, the entire country is considered a part of Asia. Yogi, don't you ever question my geography skills, you jabroni. Jeremiah Golder says, yes, I agree. I want to split the world titles. The heavyweight championship can be so helpful in making characters, Punk, Orton, etc. Yeah, I'll add Batista. It could be helpful to a guy like Roman Reigns, a guy like Bray Wyatt. Sir Tommy T. Yogi still challenging me, saying, no, it's part of the EU, the Europe. All right, jabroni. Let me get right on here on the world. We've got World Atlas as a reference here. I will get this up on the screen here. Let's see. This might make the sharpshoot graphic go away. Here you go, jabroni. However, the entire country as a whole is considered part of the continent of Asia. European Russia, comprising of 3 million plus square feet, spans across 40% of Europe. However, the entire country as a whole is still considered a part of the continent of Asia. So, while we can say that part of Russia is in fact in Europe, it's still considered a part of Asia. So, like the saying goes, it is what it is. And Jordan Lincourt saying if there was a hardcore title, Dean Ambrose would be an ideal champion. I can't disagree with that at all. Ambrose, his signature throwing 20 chairs into the ring, you immediately think Ambrose for a hardcore championship. I would definitely agree with that. Yogi's just all over the place. He's confused. He's part of the EU Council. Like I said, Yogi, part of Russia is located in Europe, in the continent of Europe, technically, but the country as a whole is a part of Asia. So, don't get too crazy and too confused about it. It's really not that big of a deal. I just don't see Rusev bringing the United States title to the European title anyways. So we'll see where that cuts out, because I see Rusev going up against John Cena at WrestleMania. Not necessarily over the U.S. Championship, but we'll see. And Yogi says, fair enough, never challenge the AuSSy. Smart man. Now you're thinking, jabronis. And if you're still thinking, think about joining the show again next week. The Sharpshoot with AuSSy. Every Thursday, we shoot for 7 p.m., but it looks like 5 p.m. worked for you guys well this week, so maybe we'll start with 5 p.m. on Thursdays. Until then, it's been the Sharpshoot. Make sure you catch up before the bell and react after Raw this upcoming week, and we'll see you guys next Thursday. Thanks again for checking out the show. RopeBreakWrestling.com. Like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to this page right now. Go follow us on Twitter at RopeBreakWrestling, at I am AuSSy, and just check out RopeBreakWrestling.com, where we get you all the best news and rumors regarding the WWE. Get out of the bleachers and get in the ring with Rope Break Wrestling. Have a good week, guys.